The Filling Station by Vanessa Miller. I have been waiting to read this book since December. I think, yeah, December. And then I talked about it again last month. So I have really been looking forward to reading this book. So this is I guess, a book review. Yeah, a book review. My name is Raquel. Welcome and welcome back. This is The Filling Station by Vanessa Miller. So, in the filling station, you have this family. The father, Mr. Justice, he has two daughters, Margaret and Evelyn, who they call Evie. Um, Margaret, she has just graduated just graduated college, and she is thinking about business, even working at her father's grocery store. So you have her younger sister Evelyn, who they call Evie. Evie is a very talented seamstress, and she just graduated high school. So they live in Greenwood, which is a small city inside of Tulsa, Oklahoma. It is thriving. All of the people, I mean, we know what Tulsa, Oklahoma was, Black Wall Street, which was coined by W.E.B. Du Bois. So, on the day of Evie's graduation rehearsal, she goes to the rehearsal, and they're told to go home because there's something happening. They go home, and Margaret sees her father. She has a conversation with her father, and then she goes home. But she knows she has to take care of her younger sister. They go home, and they, go to sleep. Everything is fine. They wake up in the middle of the night, and this mob has torched all the houses in Greenwood. They have set the businesses on fire. In addition to that, they have actually dropped bombs on Greenwood. I mean, to me, that was crazy. Like, wasn't it enough that you set it on fire? They dropped bombs. And so, they dropped bombs. And so, Evie, Miss Pearl, and Margaret, Miss Pearl is like a next door neighbor who helps them out because their mom has passed away. So they're just kind of, in a panic basically because everything is on fire. You got people running around. You've got this white mob like killing people and, doing whatever. So they wind up at this filling station. So the filling station is owned by Mr. Allen and Miss Alberta. And so, because they don't have anywhere to live, their house has been burned down, they don't know what to do. Um, they take Evie and Margaret in, but Margaret, she doesn't want to stay. She wants to go back to Greenwood. So here's the thing. The book talks about how Margaret has lost her faith in God. She can't figure out how, if there is a God, how did he allow all these things to happen? Evelyn or Evie's pretty young, so Evie just starts acting out. She is doing stuff that she knows dang on well she wouldn't do if her dad was there. And the thing is, during like all of the riot and the commotion, Margaret lost track of her father, but they haven't seen him since. So they have not seen their father at this point in probably a couple of days or, whatever the period of time is, but they haven't seen their father. And it's up to Margaret to take care of her younger sister. But the problem is they are both traumatized. And so Evie is dealing with the trauma in one way, and Margaret is dealing with it another way. And it looks like to me, Evie is kind of getting off that leash that her father had her on, which wasn't a bad thing. And then Evie is like, she is trying to be the adult and make sure that, Evie is good. She has a place to live. She has clothes and food, like that kind of thing. She's doing, even through her trauma, she is doing what she's supposed to be doing. But I think for Evie, it kind of looks like she's not feeling anything, or she's not really taking it in. And Evie just feels out of control, or like she has, she doesn't really know what to do. So she's just kind of doing anything and everything. And so it's a really good book. It pulled at my heartstrings. I felt so much during this book. Um, I don't really know what I expected the book to be about. You know what? I do know what I expected the book to be about, the actual massacre. And I don't know why I thought that, because um, it's not likely. 1921, and this is 2005, so it's probably not likely that any of those people are still here. I know that there was this one lady who had this book called Don't Let My Story Die. I think that's what it's called. I think her name was Fiona. Can't remember her last name, and not even sure her first name was Fiona, but I do remember that book. I wanted to read it. It's not available anyway. I kind of expected it to talk about before the actual massacre and how the actual massacre happened. So we know that the cause of the massacre was that there was a black man in the elevator with a white woman. The white woman says that he touched her. And I think that part is true, because I'd heard that. I didn't read it. I'd heard that prior to reading this book. And so when I saw it in the book, I said, well, maybe that's one of the facts in the book, because we know this is historical fiction. And so I just kind of expected it to be about the actual massacre, but it's not. It is about these two two sisters who survived the massacre, and how they survive it, like the trauma that they go through and how their life fares after that, what they do to take steps to move away from that situation. And like I said, it's really good. I enjoyed it. I think it took me a minute. I think that for me, I always anticipate the book being about a particular thing. But once I realize that it's not about what I think it's about, and I readjust my expectations, I'm able to enjoy it. And so I was able to enjoy it. And the fact that I have been waiting for this book for a very long time. So, yeah, it is really good. I totally enjoyed it. I did not wind up buying it. I was going to buy it, but I did not wind up buying it at the point when I got ready to buy it. I know I was going to pre-order it, and I wound up buying a couple other different books. And then by the time I got ready to buy it, it came up on my library thing. So I was like, I can buy it if I like it that much after I read it. And I still like it enough to buy it. So at some point I will buy it. I just don't know when. There's so many other books I want to read and buy. And we all know that it's impossible to read all of the books you want to read or buy all the books you want to buy. So some of them I just have to be happy that I read it, and others I'll be able to buy. But I do think I'm going to buy that one. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video. Until next time, see you soon.